Today I have a service call on this HVAC unit. This is Lennox Rooftop heating and cooling used on a commercial. But my service call today was regarding the air condition not working. The service was that there was an electrical spike, kind of some lightning or light come on and went off. And then before they realized it, the thermostat went blank. So when the thermostat went blank, they couldn't really they couldn't really turn it on. So when I came in to look at it, the thermostat was blank. So I went to the electrical room and see if the unit tripped off on the main electrical panel. But looking at it, I did not see there was no trip off from the electrical panel. So I came up on the roof to look at it and see what's going on. So I'm going to be looking at it, and I'm going to be walking you through on how we'll see what's going on here. Okay, so again, so this is my electrical section. So I'm just it's two. Okay. So again, because the problem was not from the high side, because I have my power coming in, so I'm going to see, check if my voltage is coming here. Wow, okay, so right as I see, I noticed that the 24 volt trip off. You can see this is 600 volt stepping down to 24 volt, and this is the 24 volt supplying all that 24 component, 24 volt component. But however, I'm going to first see if I have my power coming in here, then before I really work on that guy. Okay, so here is my switch to the unit. So you can see it's on the on position, and I have set up my voltmeter. So I'm just going to read and see if I have power to all the phases. Okay, here I have 351 volt, and then to the next I have same 351, and to the next one 351. So I have voltage all coming on. So I have a three phase coming in, which is good. Power is really coming in here. So I'm going to see, I'm going to have to reset this thermostat, this transformer. So to reset this transformer, first I'm going to have to turn it off from the main here. So I'm going to turn it off here. Okay, so I'm just going to push it to reset. Okay, I'm just going to wait for a few minutes and see if the coil is hot, so it could cool down. So wait for a couple of minutes. So I'm just going to turn it on. Now that I reset it, turn it on, my unit comes on. I can hear my fan kick in, and my compressor, oh boy, okay. See, a compressor was about to kick in, and then this trip off. Right away, trip off. So again, remember, this is happening on the low voltage, not on the high voltage. So if it's on the high voltage, then it means my breaker fuse will be tripping off. But because it's happening on the low voltage, only the transformer is tripping off. So what could be happening? So again, stay tuned, and I will walk you through on how to troubleshoot and see what's happening here. Thank you. Okay, so with my HVAC turn off, electrical power, main power turn off here. So, and then I want to start by checking wherever any 24 volt is going to ground. So I'm going to have to check to see if any or anywhere. I'm just going to reset this guy. I'm going to have to check and see where there is any wire going to ground, especially the low voltage coming from the ground here. So I'm going to do a lot of checking and inspection here. Okay, so after thorough checking, I did not see where it is going to ground, and I turned on the unit. Again, a trip off again. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to disconnect all this line voltage going to the thermostat. This is my wire going to the thermostat. I don't know if there's any crack or if there's any pinch on the wire going to the thermostat. So I'm going to disconnect this, and I will be putting a jumper between my Y1, Y2, my R and my G to bring in the cooling and see if that works. Okay, I'll keep you posted. Okay, so what I did here was that I put a jumper between my Y1, Y2, my R and my G, and I have isolated the wire, the low voltage wiring, which is the thermostat wire. Again, before I took this out, I take a picture. So please, I will recommend take a picture, so when you are putting it back, it will be easier for you to just easily connect. So I took a picture so I can easily come back again and I know where they are all going. Okay, so now that I've done that, I'm gonna turn it on. So what I'm doing here is I'm just doing isolation. Okay, I just want to eliminate I'm going to eliminate the problem if it is coming from the thermostat. Then if it's not, then we'll move forward. So that's what I'm eventually doing. Okay, so I'm going to turn it on here again. Okay, remember this is 600 volt, so you have to be careful. My AC 1 or 2 kick in right away. Yeah, 1 or 2 kick in right away. Yeah, again, before you realize it, my fuse trip off again. My fuse at the transformer is tripping off. So it means the problem is not coming from my thermostat wire. So it's not coming from there. So this is solved. So eliminated. So I'm going to go to the next, and I will keep you posted. So I'm going to turn it off. Okay, please remember to always turn it off. Okay, so my thermostat is eliminated as not a problem. So the next thing I will do is that I'm going to have to disconnect my Y2, and I'm going to have to bring in my Y1. Again, sometimes you may want to check, oh, you think the compressor is not the problem? I don't know yet, but I think the problem is coming from the low voltage side. If it's tripping off on electrical, the main electrical, then I would say, yeah, maybe the compressor. So I'm not going to really waive it for now that the compressor is not the problem, but I think I want to check my low voltage. So I'm going to disconnect my Y2, okay, which is compressor number 2. This is my compressor number 2. That's my compressor number 1 in there. Okay, there are 2 compressors in here. Okay, even though I noticed that the compressor number 2 here, the crankcase heater has been disconnected, but my compressor number 2, my crankcase heater is still connected here. Okay, and I see some pinches here already, but this I don't know. So, but again, we're gonna see. Okay, so before disconnecting my Y2, I have also swapped my my transformer, because I'm thinking it could be my transformer is weak, so maybe it's not able to hold the amps of that. So I swapped my transformer. This is a new transformer, but however, after removing that transformer, I still keep tripping off. So I have also eliminated this a problem that is not going to be from this step down transformer. Again, this is a step down transformer, 600 volt to 24 volt in here. So this I'm going to see, which is my Y2, see what's going on here. So I'm going to turn it on. We'll see. Okay, so I turn it on. My blower motor, compressor comes on. Unit is running. My condenser fan, there are 2 condenser fans on this unit. They are all running. Okay, Yeah, the unit is still going on. You can see this is my condenser fan. They are all running. Unit is still holding, hasn't gone off. The unit hasn't tripped. It has not tripped as at this moment. So I'm going to observe it for a while, and then I will keep you updated. I'm going to observe it. I will keep you updated. Okay, so my compressor number 1 is still running, but my compressor number 2 has been eliminated from the system, and that is where the area I'm going to focus on. So on the compressor number 2 and the component, okay, component of the compressor number 2. So what are the components? First, I'm going to have to check my contactor. This contactor, so you can see this contactor is energized. This is energized. This is compressor energized. This is a blower energized. This compressor is for the compressor number 2, not energized. So I'm going to have to turn off the unit, and I'm going to see my contactor and see what's going on there. So I'm going to check really more and see what's going on this compressor number 2. I'm going to check. So again, please subscribe to this channel, and if you have any better way you think we could troubleshoot this, you could also let me know. And again, I'm open to answer questions. So I want to chat. I want to know how, if you have a better way of troubleshooting it, please put it down below. But however, I'm going to proceed and check my contactor and see what's going on there. Thank you. Okay, so I have also eliminated my crankcase heater to the compressor, disconnect all the wiring from the system. You can see this is a crankcase to this compressor and this to that compressor. So my next step, like I said, that the contactor, these are the contactor. Here is one contactor. Again, remember the unit are all turned off, turn off. So this second contactor. But looking at this contactor is really clean. I don't see any problem. Even though the compressor didn't come on here. This is the compressor to that contactor to that one. But look at the second contactor, really burn out. Really burn out. So my next step here now, I'm going to eliminate that compressor number 2, and I want to bring this guy on and see if this guy holds. Bring the second compressor on, and if it holds, then it means this contactor might be pulling this other one. Well, again, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have to disconnect my my low voltage wire here so that it won't energize, and allow that unit to energize. So that's what I'm going to do. So please stay tuned and don't go away. We'll see what's happening here. Okay, so disconnect my 24 volt to this contactor and reconnect back my Y2. So just want to bring that compressor on. Yeah, bring it on, and then let's see. Yeah, it went off. It went off. Trip off again. Trip off again. So compressor, I'm gonna have to see more if this compressor is okay, but I'm still very much concerned about this. See more, see what's going on here. Okay, so I disconnected all the low voltage wiring to this contactor, and the compressor has not come on, and then but my condenser fan has not kicked in, but my blower is running. So I'm gonna wait and see if it's gonna kick in, even though I energized my Y1 and Y2 asking the compressor to kick in. So I'm going to observe and see what's going on here. Again, stay tuned and I will keep you updated. Okay, so my next step that I'm going to take now is to disconnect this this connector here to the compressor, so I'm going to take that off. That means I have isolated my compressor, and remember my jumper is still on it here, and I'm going to just turn on the unit. I want to see if that trip off again, then we know we have eliminated the compressor. So I will let you know. So I have disconnected this pin connector to the compressor, and as soon as I turn it on, it didn't take up to 2 seconds. Again, it just pop up again on my transformer. So that tells me that the problem is it's not coming from the compressor. So I have eliminated the compressor. I've also eliminated the low voltage, the thermostat wiring. I've also eliminated that. So what I'm pointing at is this contactors. This contactor is for this the one of the compressor, and this also for the other compressor. And then my relay needs to be changed as well. So this relay, this contactor, and this contactor. So I'm going to have to swap that. And please, before you do that, take a picture. Okay, take a picture and note where all the wiring are all coming from, so you could be able to not stay too long in an attempt to if there's any mistakes. Okay, so I have placed an order to replace this contactor, and here I have it in the box. So these two contactors came, placed an order on it, and they are here now. So I'm going to have to put that in, and I'll keep you posted. Okay, so I have installed my contactor, this contactor and the other contactor. So I have two contactors and also my relay. Okay, so please make sure all your wiring is properly intact. Cross-check it over and over again to make sure they are okay. And now that I have done that, I'm just going to turn on my unit and see. Okay, so my unit comes on. Yeah, this contactor that has never closed has closed, remain closed. So two contactor closed, everything is okay. So my unit is running. Again, remember I have not connected this my compressor, so I'm going to connect my compressor now, and I will also connect my thermostat wiring, and then we see. So far everything seems to be running fine, and then I'm going to update you as soon as I connect my compressor and my thermostat wiring. Okay, so I hook up my compressor wiring, and then also my low voltage wiring, and you can see everything seems to be running fine. So I'm just going to take amps reading and compare it with the nameplate to make sure everything works. So my two compressor has kicked in, and including the lower motor there has also kicked in. So everything is looking good. So it means this job is completed. So please, I'm going to just show you. So this is how bad is the contactor. Really bad. Okay, this was contactor number 2, but the contactor number 1 wasn't really bad that much, but that was where the unit was tripping off. So but it was tripping off on the low voltage of the transformer. So that tells me that the problem wasn't from the high voltage. So therefore it is the low voltage issue. So low voltage issue is all surrounding the contactors and then the relay. So all of that is done now, and everything is okay. So again, I want to ask you, please subscribe to this channel, and if you have any question, put it down below, please. If you have any question, put it down below, and if you have any better way you think we can quickly just resolve this problem, also put it down below. And I love people always putting in chat, so which is very important. So please subscribe. Thanks for watching. Thank you.